So already you're gonna know something like this. Whatever. It's this, some stuff in here, and there's that thing. Cool. You have people start down here, people start over here. So first off, battleships in a CV game. So you got 7 people on your team, one of which is going to be a CV. So you're going to have 6 people that are going to go somewhere. You could have an even split where you have 3 go in one direction, 3 go in another direction. You could have a lopsided split where 5 go in one direction, which means 1 goes in the other direction. And in general, you probably don't want to be that one. If it ends up being a lemming train, you may have to commit to the lemming train. Realistically, battleships, well, realistically, battleships are going to need an escort, and in terms of ranked, you're going to need one too. You're going to need at least one additional ship, one AA buddy. This is going to be a general thing that you're going to have to focus on. Could be a cruiser or a specifically non-shit at AA destroyer. Doesn't have to be a Holland. Could be a Haragumo. It could be a Friesland. It could be whatever in your tier that actually has the ability to do something against planes. Not like a Shima where it's just going to kind of wave at them, hey, or like it's some dude on the deck throwing rocks into the sky. So let's pretend this is a 3-3 split. So we can just go on that. If you have a destroyer that's going to peel off, destroyer's going to do whatever the hell the destroyer's going to do. If the cruiser's going to want to peel on this rock, okay, where can you position so that you're still influential on this flank, but you're making use of the AA front line? Because the CV can, you know, try and derp around, cut behind or something and be on top of you. But realistically, CVs take real least time approaches, and they don't like to deviate from least time approaches because 95% of the time you can least time approach something. So if you've got a cruiser that's using this rock, if you've got a destroyer that's somewhere in this area, this is going to be a natural place for the battleship. You don't have to be directly on top of the cruiser, but you need to be close enough that you're going to have some kind of support, and you could potentially provide some kind of support for the cruiser as well. So in this instance, you might put your battleship here, or you might actually move it even closer, something in that neighborhood. If you put your battleship out here, you're neglecting any forward pressure by destroyer AA, and you're putting yourself in a central position. Now, if you're with the CV, you might be able to cover each other, but if you can least time approach from a CV, cruisers behind a rock, and you just get to go in on the battleship, you've cut down any kind of security or protection you have. You might have good firing lines from this middle section, but unless you got an open water cruiser or destroyer that's going to screen for you, or a CV that's going to constantly protect you with fighters, this could be a hazardous location. Similarly, on the other side, you may have a DD out here, a cruiser out here, so you could cut wide. But if you do cut wide, you block this least time approach because you've got this protection wall, so to speak. And basically, if the CV's flying through this and not striking this, he's losing planes for free just to get to you. Some will do it, but it's not going to be a habitual thing. CV would have to cut all the way out and do this. That being said, the CV can move. If the CV moves and commits to this flank, then they just get to strike you repeatedly. If you put yourself away from cruiser AA, and similarly, they could, if you come out this wide, you may be neglecting your cruiser, in which case least time comes in, uses the wall, bombs. Comes in, uses the wall, strikes again. Whole bunch of lines for this. So let's look at a real example and try to focus on what is the battleship doing, and then we'll see if we can figure out what worked out well or not.